anyways, I always like to start the classes with just, mentioning to everybody how grateful I am just to be invited by Kashi, and also just being, that all of you showed up to be present here and share your energy, because, just to be able to go around the country and the world, just kind of sharing this, I mean, it's definitely a blessing. It's a great thing to share, and it's my passion in life. So I'm happy to get to be here just to kind of share this perspective with all of you. I'm kind of presuming that none of you are totally new to yoga, although if you are, it's totally fine. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of perspectives when it comes to yoga, and each perspective has its validity, and if you probably follow all the perspectives back to to where they are supposed to end up, you'll probably get to the same exact spot, but there's just kind of different ways of getting there. And even within the physical yoga world, I mean, there's so many different ideas and emphasis and stuff. So I like to always take the beginning of the class just to kind of just create a little bit of clarity pertaining to what the perspective is here tonight that we're working on. And so when we're doing what we're doing here, it's really clear what we're working on, because it's actually pretty easy to not work on it. Actually, to just kind of do something that you're used to doing the same way instead of doing it in another way. And I'm kind of assuming that a lot of you will recognize a lot of the poses here, because basically most yoga classes use about 30 yoga poses, and then there's about 30 variations of those poses. But there's definitely going to be poses here that you're familiar with. Maybe I'll try and throw in a couple you might not be familiar with, just to kind of add to your repertoire. But because you probably do poses you're familiar with, it's pretty easy just to kind of do them the same old way, unless you're really clear about what it is we're working on here. So that's kind of why I like to take the beginning of the class, just to create a little clarity, because I don't really find a perspective that prevalent, kind of surprisingly so. So I'd like to share it with you. And if there's anything in this that you like, then you can take it, and whatever yoga practice you do, you can add it to your practice and just make your practice a little bit more full and more rich. And if there's nothing here you like, then you just kind of discard it all. I actually have lived in India, and it's kind of surprising in India, because you can literally travel through India and you cannot find a physical yoga class. I mean, you can, but it's hard. I mean, it's rare. It's most, like 99.9% of all of yoga, has to do more with devotional practices and meditational practices, things that really work on your mind. But it's not surprising, right, that us Westerners, who are so fucking obsessed with our bodies and so vain, that we've taken like the 1/10 of 1% and we've turned it into 100%, where we've turned this into this hugely physical practice. And I really want to just get some perspective also, so we all are understanding what it is we're doing. I mean, yoga is not really a physical practice. The physical part of yoga is really what we would call calisthenics. They're calisthenics from India. They're Eastern calisthenics. I think they're a little better than Western calisthenics, because they're more, they're more well thought out. I mean, I can't think of too many Western calisthenics other than, touch your toe like that, and there's not that much variety. But, I mean, the Indian version was so intelligent. It was like, it created movements to expose and touch and address every single place in your body. If any of you were curious why there are so many yoga poses in yoga, and I don't know if you've ever seen that chart that has, I think it's Dharma Mitra's chart from New York City. He's got that chart where he's got like 99 poses or 999 poses, whatever it is. But that's just, that's just a fraction of what there really is actually. And those of you who don't know, is the reason that there is so many different yoga poses is because all of those poses are creative ways to access different places in your body. That's all they are. I think there's a rule on this planet that you can't take care of something you don't touch, right? I mean, did not every one of you make a very concentrated effort this morning to brush every tooth in your mouth? You didn't miss a tooth, right? I mean, you made sure you brushed every tooth. You know that if you do miss a tooth consistently enough, that tooth will probably rot and corrode and atrophy, and not only will that alienate most of your friends, but that rotted tooth will wreak havoc on your life, because tooth pain, like any pain, you know, at one point or another can literally be paralyzing and debilitating. So you made sure you brushed every tooth in your mouth. And that's what these yoga poses are. They're just like, it's like an opportunity to brush every place in your body. Like this, and you can literally go to 10 different yoga classes, and each class will tell you to do the pose differently. You know, like one class will tell you, you know, you should put your palm on the floor on the inside of the foot. Some of you they might say the fingertips. Some they might say the palm on the outside. Some might say grab your ankle. Some might say grab your big toe. Some might say, you know, the spine should really be straight, so put your hand on a block. You know, or, you know, some might say have your hand straight up and down. Some might say, you know, open up further. Some might say your heel should be aligned with the back heel. Some might say it should be in the middle of the foot. How the fuck do you do triangle? I mean, I'm completely confused about triangle pose. I don't even know how to do triangle pose. Seriously, I don't know how to do triangle pose. And so if you came here to learn how to do triangle pose, you came to the wrong. I don't know how to do any of these poses. I don't, because I don't know if there's a way to do these poses. Like as far as a right way or a wrong way to do these poses, I mean. So, you know, I mean, and then you get like, you know, and I'm just generalizing now, you'll get the, you know, Iyengar people who are so anal about the alignment of the pose, which is fine. It's fine, that's their strong point. I mean, the head guy was pretty much an alignment genius, you know, I mean, and that's their thing. You know, you'll get other yogas that don't focus at all on the alignment, but they'll get focus on the routine, and you'll get some that focus on the philosophy, or each one of them will have a different focus, but I guess the point is that, you know, which one of them's right? I mean, who do you listen to? How do you do a triangle pose? And what's the point of the triangle pose? And meanwhile, they're getting flexible. So they think that they're doing it right, even though there's no point at all to that hyper-flexibility or any flexibility beyond whatever it is your natural boundaries are. So, anyways, you know, it's really kind of a crazy thing, I think, that can easily develop within the yoga practice if you're not careful. You know, and let's go into this thing about how people actually strengthen. Listen, you can ask a yoga person. Y'all know after class how good you feel. You know, you're so peaceful. You're so relaxed. You know, you feel so good after class. And then you're driving home. Someone cuts you off, looks at you, they flip you off, you flip them off, you get all this anger back in your body, and you know what, you got to come to yoga the next day and release the tension. Then you're driving home from yoga the next day and you get an emergency call, your kid's in the hospital, and you freak out. You put all this stress back in your body, you come to yoga the next day, and you release the tension. And the yoga becomes like this superficial fix of just kind of releasing the tension within you. And you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger says after a workout he feels orgasms all over his body. You know, he feels amazing. Just like the yoga people say they feel amazing. And they ask a runner when they're done running, they say they feel amazing. So, I mean, you know, it's really not that amazing that you're feeling amazing after a physical workout. You know, I mean, it's you have the endorphins flowing through your body. I personally think the yoga mentality about workout makes the most sense. You know, and can be the most healing, even though it can be completely, utterly damaging.